Good morning, mate. How are you this morning? Not going gym me today. I'm having the day off. I think it's probably well deserved, innit? But we'll chat about that at the end. I'm going to talk about just this sort of relentless barrage. United just don't catch a break with the media. I'm sitting there last night watching the end of the Champions League games, and an article clocks my eye. And the headline is Victor Osimhen exposes Manchester United incompetence with a Champions League masterclass. And you're like, one, we're not even playing tonight. So Victor Osimhen has scored. Who did he score against, Steve? He scored against Bodo Glimt. Now, Victor Osimhen is class. This is not me giving any sort of slight on Victor Osimhen. I think he's a great player. Would I have liked him at United? Yeah, of course I would have done. But this entire article is like ridiculous. Like, United considered buying him last year. Galatasaray signed him. We signed Sesko. But the whole article is like United absolutely dropped the ball in not signing both. Mate, there was no chance United were signing both. This is in TBR football, by the way, which no, I have no idea either. Just one guy's opinion, United should have signed both. So, how have we been exposed, mate? How has Manchester United been exposed? Says that Sesko's not scoring. In fact, Joel, let me get the exact line up from him, because there's a line in there where you just kind of want to go, what? So I'll read the whole article out for you. Victor Osimhen has once again proved he's one of the best strikers in the world following a Champions League masterclass for Galatasaray Wednesday evening. Don't actually disagree with that opening statement. But imagine if he'd been playing for Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. Scored twice in Europe's biggest competition with 2 first-half goals against Bodo Glimt. Could have easily had a hat-trick. Blah, 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 blah. Manchester United were linked to Osimhen in the summer as they searched for a striker to lead the line at Old Trafford. TBR Football revealed Osimhen spoke to United through representatives, but the Nigerian decided against waiting for the Red Devils and signed for Galatasaray. The Turkish side were more insistent, while United bided their time and weighed up options. A decision that now looks questionable. Does it? Like, does it really? And then this is the line that made me have to do this video this morning. The void for a competent backup forward remains following Rasmus Højlund's departure, and Osimhen wouldn't have just been a backup, he would have pushed Sesko to the next level. A mistake, no doubt. Do you honestly think United would have spent... I mean, let's have a look. What's Osimhen's wages? Because they're not nothing, are they? 250k a week. With some bonuses. Which might actually push it up by another 50k a week. On what planet, mate, was Victor Osimhen going to come and be backup to Benjamin Sesko? We play 3 forwards. One of those is a striker. We have got nearly half a dozen number 10s. Joshua Zirkzee can't get a look in at the moment. Did you really think United had the budget to put a 300 grand a week striker on the bench? And I don't know what the transfer fee was. Not nothing. It's 60 million. This is just an excuse to throw Manchester United into the headline, isn't it? I can't actually believe someone wrote that, submitted it, and the editor reviewed it and went, good to go, that our kid, hit it. Like I said, this is not a slight on Victor Osimhen. I don't disagree, he's one of the best strikers in the world. But United choosing or not choosing to sign him doesn't make it a mistake. Wasn't he also linked with Chelsea? Wouldn't it not be considered more of a mistake that Chelsea didn't sign him and instead signed that little fucking dweeb, Garnacho? Would it not have been considered a mistake that Napoli allowed him to go and signed Rasmus fucking Højlund to replace him? Do you know what I mean? How is that not ever in anybody's framing? You know, Manchester United exposed. You get this every now and then, and you do it quite often in the Champions League. Obviously, we had good performances from all of the players, well, some of the players that are out on loan. I think Antony, Rashford and Højlund this week. But, like, the way those reports come out, it's like you're seeing, like, Ballon d'Or level performances week in, week out from the players that have left Manchester United. It isn't the case. It really isn't the case. I don't know why it's being painted up with that sort of narrative. I'm really happy with our forward line. I like Benjamin Sesko. I fucking love Mbuemo. And I think Cunha's got a real... Do you know what? Berardo might have nailed it when he compared him to Cantona. Everyone went, fucking pump the brakes a little bit, mate. But there is a maverick about him. There is something that plays to a different beat to everybody else. And that's a good thing. When everyone's doing the same thing, you've got to have a player that's going to do something unexpected. And Cunha does something that is unexpected. I mean, I saw Liverpool fans trying to get on the Wirtz defence and bringing Cunha into it. I think at the time, Cunha had played nearly like 200 minutes less than Wirtz had prior to weekend. And they're like, he's getting no abuse. Mate, he didn't come in as a British record transfer, for starters. You know, he's had a couple of knocks, and he's playing well. And like I've always said anyway, you know, the script with Wirtz isn't that he's been playing bad. And again, it's the fact that all I've ever seen is defences of him. I haven't actually seen any mainstream outlets trying to give him shit for it. There's been a couple of social media accounts and there's been a couple of fan accounts, but of course, because that's people seeing, like, injustice in terms of the reporting. There's been more defences by the mainstream media of Wirtz, and people going, oh, the 007 thing's unfair. Meanwhile, it was literally plastered on that big 30-foot screen that Sky have got when it was Sancho. And again, Sancho wasn't a British record. Wirtz is a British record and he's gone to the Champions. Like, there has to be a level of expectation with that. Same with Isak. Like, you have to expect that there's going to be some level of expectation with that. Paul Pogba was putting in fantastic performances. It didn't stop people smashing him. And Wirtz hasn't been smashed. He's just had the defence. But the fact that I saw some Liverpool account crying last night about Cunha. But the fact that underneath his first, like, did like a thread. Underneath it, he was saying, like, oh, Sesko's been shit. And you're like, well, Sesko's not been shit, has he? Like, he's been scoring in back-to-back games that he started. Like, I don't understand what some people watch. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't. Anyway, yesterday, thank you for all the support, for everybody. I did spend a lot of time thinking about what to do. And I think it was this little community that we've stumbled upon or somehow built. And it's that mindset that I was sort of, you know, I say, and I hadn't considered it in this context about we do it anyway, right? I'm more about getting out my ass to the gym in the morning. I'm tired, do it anyway. But yeah, had to put the ego aside. Put in one of the worst times that Hyrox is going to see this year, I'm sure. But I got it done. And did try and put it in perspective a little bit. Because 18 months ago, I couldn't have done a Hyrox. And 12 months ago, I did have the idea of doing a Hyrox. And that's what started me running. I thought I'd be able to run 1K. I didn't think I'd be able to run more than 1K. Not consistently anyway. So when I did a half marathon, fucking, you know, got to think about how far I'd come. And I started running those 1Ks about November last year because I wanted to try and do a Hyrox. And yesterday I did it. So I have to take that as a big win. I did it. I didn't do it in a great time. I'm taking 45 minutes off that time at least, because I was walking through the rock zones, and like everything was slower because I was walking, everything. You know, I'm taking 45 minutes off that time just by being able to run my laps. But I did it, and now I've got 2 more on the horizon. I don't know how fast London would be. I'm going to try and figure out some criteria to be able to do London healthier. If I'm not running, and I'm not running 5Ks comfortably 2 weeks before London, and I think that's very, very unlikely, I might just cancel London, because I've already done one, and I don't need to go and do another one injured to prove anything. And then I will just work towards getting really fit for the Manchester one. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard despite walking the recoveries. And I think I got very close to re-injuring the calf, but I didn't re-injure the calf. I'll tell you who did my fucking head in. Quite a few people actually. There's probably about 20 people that were trying to grab my arm and trying to force me to run as they was running past. I know it's just encouraging, but you know, you don't know why somebody's walking, do you? You know, I was walking deliberately. The hardest thing I had to do yesterday was when the music started and the countdown happened and everyone runs out of that tunnel with the smoke. The hardest thing was walking out of that and feeling so self-conscious that, you know, everybody's watching the start and I'm just kind of walking from the start. But do you know who did my fucking head in? Johnny fucking Nelson. Do you know, a boxer? He got stuck into it, but he's way bigger than I thought he was as well. Every fucking lap he ran past me and grabbed me, and the first time I shit my pants because he was the first one that did it, and then it happened probably 3 or 4 times every single lap. There's 16 laps. Someone would try and either grab me by like the back of the tricep or the shoulder or my hand and try and drag me and go, "Come on, mate, don't quit." And I'm like, fucking walking. This is the whole vibe of what I'm doing is walking. But yeah, I walked the entire thing. And that was great to recover in between the exercises. But it makes you think, fucking hell. You know, I don't know how fast I can go and still recover. When I did the hybrid games, I was using the run to recover in between. But I was going quite slow on those. But yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it. Stiff today, for sure. So I'm having today off, and then we get back in the game tomorrow. What night was it? Tuesday night. I was in the hotel on my own. I've written out next 24 weeks of progression because I've got to go from, at the moment, can't really walk to doing a marathon in 24 weeks. So there has to be a staged progression and hit some milestones, and yeah, come back end of January, 3 months out from the marathon, I need to start doing 10, 20, 25, 30k runs. So that needs a calf to be bulletproof. So that might be a major factor in whether or not London gets done. But like I said, you know, I get a lot of messages saying my messages and what I'm doing in the morning is motivating for you guys. Well, I want to throw it right back at you and say, you know, the support and the constant back and forward that we're having in here, in that Telegram group, in the Patreon group, is motivating me just as much. So I want to say thank you to you guys, and thanks to everyone for the support. It helps, it really does. So got to get this rehab nailed now, and then I'll see where I'm at. But yeah, 24 weeks, long program, loads of stage progression. I'm in with a physio on Saturday morning. I booked that last week. Maybe I had a bit of a premonition that this might have happened. But it is what it is, isn't it? Got it done. Wasn't perfect, but that's what we preach, innit, man? So, cheers everyone. I'm calling that a win. Let me know your wins this week in the chat, and I'll see you in the next one in a bit.